And we are live. Just putting that share on the Facebook page. We are live. Happy Monday, Marana and Oro Valley. The Marana and Oro Valley Experience Move. Hope you all had a great weekend. Weather was beautiful. We have a special guest with us this morning, Miss Jeri Harwood from the VFW Oro Valley chapter. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks for being here.
Great.
Our mutual friend Mary Murphy.
Yes.
Reached out to me a few weeks ago. I don't remember. It was back in mid-August, maybe a month ago,
Yes.
and said, hey, can we do this? And I said, absolutely. Any
That's
friend
great.
of Mary's is a friend of mine.
That's great.
So welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here.
You got a big event coming up this week. Let's just jump right into it to make sure we get that covered.
Okay, so our event this week is POW MIA Day. And there are so many that we still have that are missing in action or still could be prisoners of war. We don't have any idea, but we're still looking for them, and we still remember them to this day. So our event will be at the Arizona Heroes Memorial at Marana Park at 10 o'clock on Friday, and we'd love to have all of you come out and see what we do. We're going to be hosting that with the American Legion Post 132 in Oro Valley, and I think it'll be a great program for all to see.
You know, I should have first thank you for your service. I know you were.
No problem.
You served. When did you serve? Where did you serve?
Okay, I went into the military, into the Air Force in 1973, right out of high school, and I stayed in for 20 years and retired in California, moved back to Utah, where I'm from.
Where at?
Layton.
Okay.
And then I got a job up at the Idaho National Lab in Idaho Falls and lived there for a long time, retired in 2017. And then me and my grandson, I adopted him, and he's 13. We moved here in December of 2000. And ever since then, I've been working more with veterans since I moved back.
Thank you. Again, thank you for your service. And for those maybe that haven't done the math, 1973, Vietnam was still
going.
On.
And I got out in 93, but I did serve in Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm. And that's what qualified me for being in the VFW.
I was having a conversation actually this weekend with my son about 91, and that was the first time since the Vietnam War we had really had a serious conflict. I mean, I know there were issues in between, but 91, I remember it clearly. Was that Shield or Storm?
Desert Shield was August of 90 to January 17th. January 17th started Desert Storm, and it ended on February 28th after the 3-day ground assault.
Yeah, that was wild. And that's been 30-plus years ago.
35 years, and we're building a memorial in D.C. It's the Desert Shield Desert Storm Memorial.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're going to be able to dedicate it next year. And it's been through just basically public funding, no government funding at all.
And, as I'm sitting here, it just doesn't feel that it's been that long ago. It seems so. I mean, storming Norman Schwarzkopf and
right.
President Bush the first was in office. I guess those years have passed, Miss Jeri, but it doesn't feel that long ago, does it? I mean,
it's still, sometimes it's just so in your face.
Yeah.
You know, different things may trigger a memory or whatever, which is also, relevant with all of the new veterans that are from OIF, OEF, and Afghanistan. And all of those veterans, we're seeing more individuals that were more damaged on the outside. Desert Storm people, more of it was internal issues due to the toxic exposures and things like that. And then with OIF, OEF, and you had to IEDs and more bombings, so you had more catastrophic injuries on those individuals.
Are you familiar with Chris Moon?
No.
He was a young man. I believe we're at the 15th year.
Hmm.
He was. I remember him as a kid playing baseball, and he was killed by a what is it?
An IED or a landmine, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a statue of him down at Cherry Field baseball field. You should, and the reason why I mention that is parents are still very involved in the, I believe it's called the Gold Star
Families.
Gold Star Families, and very active in that, and just that makes it personal for me. I mean, I knew a lot of people back when I was younger in Vietnam and all that.
Right.
There were a few but this makes it real personal because this was a young man that I knew as a kid.
Right.
8, 9, 10, 11 years old that became another statistic.
And there's a lot of them, and
it hurts every time I think about it. Every time, and there should be joy, and to some degree there is, because I know he's in heaven and all that. But there's still just that nagging. He should still be with us.
Right.
Mentality. And I know that that's part of what your mission is, because again, some of these people we can't account for them.
No, we can't. And the one thing that they have that they're working on, and this is the VFW and the American Legion, they're working with the Defense Department, and it's called DPAA, and they go over to Southeast Asia and to Tibet and all of those other areas over there to search for any missing in action, like where some plane crashes are. And they'll get tips from the locals, population, locals, yeah. So it's a big movement, and both the Legion and the VFW work on that and through legislation, and right now they're working on making sure that we still have the funding for DPAA to keep going on.
Right. Is there a number, or do we know, is there a number associated with this?
Well, we had probably about 81,000 people still missing in action or POWs.
81,000?
Yes. Most of those, you had some from the World War II, then Korea and Vietnam. We had POWs in Desert Storm and a couple that were missing in action, but some of those we found, they were as a recovery, so they were considered as killed in action.
Wow. So realistically, there could be, and I don't know how many in World War II or Korea, but realistically from Vietnam forward, there could be 20, 30, 40,000 potentially people that are still prisoners of war, correct?
Well, we're not sure that it's that
I mean,
much.
potentially. I don't think that that's the number, but because there are probably a lot of them that were killed in action. But but there's still potentially a few for sure,
right,
that are still alive, being held somewhere.
And most of the ones from Desert Storm have been recovered for the POWs. One of them was Major Rhonda Cornum. She is now a brigadier general. And that brings me to the point that, women have not been involved in the VFW for a long time. We're trying to get more women involved because we have individuals, males, and it brings us to a point where, as women, we need to be involved in these organizations. And as the commander of our Oro Valley VFW, we're a brand new post. We used to have to go all the way out to Marana, which was about 28 miles from Oro Valley. And
when was the Oro Valley Post created?
The Oro Valley Post was created in March of 2023, so we're going on our third year.
Brand new.
brand new, so we're still looking at funding, and so we'll be having a benefit dinner and raffle in October, and that helps us get money so that we can help with our youth programs. And we have what's called the Patriot Pin, so if anyone's listening and you're a parent and your child that's in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade wants to get in on the Patriot Pin essay, or you have high schoolers would want to get in on the Voice of Democracy program, these are programs that can give scholarships to these children. And for the Patriot Pin, if they ended up where they got to national and they won first place, that's a $5,000 scholarship. At each level, the post, the district, state, and national, they would get something for each one of those. So the first place at each of those areas goes through. The Voice of Democracy, the national prize is $35,000 scholarship. So it's really important that we look at our youth, our public servants, our teachers, and we go through all of those individuals. And we're also looking at Boy Scouts. So youth programs is really essential. Community involvement. We meet at the Elks Lodge, and they've been really good to us up there in Catalina. And we can't say thank you enough to them for what they've done for us. Because it's hard when you're a new post and you're starting out.
The same in return, though. We can't thank you enough because you're the bedrock of our freedoms, the folks that have served our country.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's like super important. That's why, again, when Mary reached out, I'm like, well, this is a no-brainer. So let's talk again a little more because our time is just flying by as it always does. I want to talk a little bit more, if you will, about the actual event itself. So anyone if you live in Oro Valley, you probably know where this park is.
Right.
It's between Tangerine and Marana, and you if you turn south, you'll run into it. If you turn north off of Marana, you'll run into it. But and that beautiful facility, by the way. We were there last Memorial Day for the Memorial Day celebration or presentation, which was fantastic. So a beautiful park there.
Yeah, very beautiful. We just had our event last week for 9/11 that the memorial put on, and we helped them out with that. So we've been working with them, and they've, again, been really helpful for us to be able to do these events there. And the POW MIA, it's important to all of us. We'll have the table that has, our remembrance of the ones that didn't come home. And we'll be talking about what each of the items on the table are. Then we're going to go through and talk about, talk with individuals. If you're a military member and you haven't talked to your family about your service, you should, because that's a legacy. You don't always have to talk about the bad stuff.
Right.
But we want you to basically talk about your friends, the camaraderie,
right,
things like that, because those are important for any veteran. And if any veteran's having thoughts or issues, know how to reach out.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our programs, and we're all there to talk with you. It doesn't matter what time of day. So.
And you probably have the resources, knowledge, information, where to send someone depending on what their needs may be.
Right.
Be it physical, mental.
Right.
know.
So the VFW, American Legion, DAV, even the Vietnam Veterans of America and the Marine Corps League all have veteran service officers. I work at the DAV here on INA as a certified service officer.
Are they still right next door?
Yes,
That's
they
what I
are
was
right
thinking.
next door. So I'm still there helping veterans put their claims in, and we send the information up to our national service officers in Phoenix. And then on the other spectrum, the VFW and American Legion, they have their accredited service officers that you have to go to. They don't have certified service officers. They have benefits advisors, which we give them the information on how to do that and how to help someone. So we're all there because we don't want anyone to fail. We don't want anyone to commit suicide.
Right.
We're there for you because 22 a day is not a good thing.
I didn't know the number, but so it's 20. That's just a lot of this stuff's really heavy. It is. We were actually just talking to the DeSimone brothers on their way out from the Wake Up Show just a moment ago. A lot of stuff that we talk. Hey, I'm the minister of joy around here. I don't know if anybody's ever.
That's good.
But on the same token, we cannot ignore the harsh realities of some of the darkness that we have to deal with.
Right.
Daily, and being a man of faith, that you know where I'm coming from that. This is a war.
It is.
What we got, Shay? I just heard a ding. I didn't know if she was giving me a heads up or something, or cheering me on.
I do one of them.
Maybe she's cheering me on. So again, Friday
at 10 o'clock to 11. We'll have water out there. We'll have some fans because it was a little warm last week. It's open to the public. If you know a POW that's
I'm going to check the temperature. Home, keep going. I'm just checking the temperature.
If you have a POW that's that's home and that would like to come, I would like you to reach out to me. And we will definitely consider having them speak if they can, or we'll just.
How do we reach you? How do we get a hold of you?
You can call me at 208-351-9945, or my email is cmd@vfw12222. That's 42s.org.
Hey, you know what things I really appreciate about chatting with you? You have, and that's kind of how I am. I've got my dates. I got my numbers. I love that about people. And you've just rattled off dates and times, and that's really cool. I appreciate that. I'm like the family historian. When did that happen, Clint? So I really appreciate that.
That works.
Yeah. Okay, we got a couple more minutes. I don't want to leave anything hanging. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to? You've got a couple of notes there, so there's probably a couple things that we didn't get to.
Yeah, the biggest thing is we need younger folks in both the Legion and the VFW, because a lot of us are growing a little bit older. And we did a day of service last year in May, and we were shoveling rocks and stuff like that, and all of us were over 70.
Yeah.
And so we need the younger folks to come in, but a lot of them, there's that stigma that, they're just going to tell war stories, they're going to just sit at a bar, drink and smoke. We don't have a bar unless you want to go in the Elks Lodge after the fact. And we do a lot of good. I mean, last year, we found out that the Primavera Foundation needed blankets for the homeless, and they serve from 500 to 700 homeless veterans. So we got a donation up for blankets. When the dogs were coming out of the fires in Pasadena, we helped the Veteran Emergency Group on Oracle and took them a bunch of pet donations and stuff. And I call my guys in. Sometimes it's like a spur of the moment type event. And so we just need younger people to join.
And I would think, and I'm thinking of resources like different schools, especially high schools, because moving rocks would not be for younger children, but moving rocks could be for older children, sports teams and people like that. So if you're a coach or a member of a school, especially a high school in Oro Valley, which there's a couple of them.
Right.
Marana, there's a couple of them. Reach out, because you could be your kids could not only hang with some really cool people that have done some really amazing things for our country, but you could be a huge asset to the community involved.
Right,
by
and
being involved in
that's
this.
what we have with community involvement. You know, we try to do all these things with the kids. Our public servants will be at Rockin' for Heroes this year.
Yep.
And
Mike and
that's
Bonnie
also-
are going to be here real soon. Matter of fact, I saw Mike and Bonnie yesterday. They're long-term our kids grew up together.
Oh, that's
their
great.
daughter and our daughter grew up together back when they were little kids, and our daughters got our. We'll be gone this week. We will not be able to attend because we're going to be with our daughter and son-in-law and grandbaby in Idaho. But wishing you a lot of success over there, and if there's anything we can do to continue to move this movement forward, reach out to us, will you?
Well, that'll be good. It's just more to let people know that we do have a VFW in Oro Valley, because a lot of them don't know we have that. And we do meet at the Catalina Elks Lodge on the 4th Tuesday of the month.
So
at
just
6.
if we're a vet, just show up on the 4th Tuesday of the month, or
Yeah,
how do
or
we-
they can call me, or, you know, they can go to our website. We also have a website, which is vfw12222.org. And they,
VFW and a lot of twos.
yeah, and they can reach us there because that has our contact information. It also gives the programs that we do.
Beautiful. Okay, last word.
Okay, I just want to thank
Yeah,
you so I could
yeah,
get that word
yeah,
out to
yeah.
everyone. And
Yeah, and thank you, Mary Murphy. Appreciate it. I know you're probably listening. We'll give you the shout out right now. Thank you so much. Will you
Thank
come
you.
back and give us a report?
I will.
Okay, cool. We'll get you on the books here.
Okay,
Thank you
sounds
so
great.
much, Miss Jeri. We appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Shay. We're going to take a quick commercial break. David Samorano, the CEO of Live the Dream Media, is going to be here in a few minutes talking about all things Marana and Oro Valley, as well as some of the cool things that's happening over here at Live the Dream Media. Thank you, Miss Jeri. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
This is an urgent message from the Daniel Gutierrez for Congress campaign. The CD7 special election's going on right now. If you haven't voted yet, now's the time to do it. If you think you're on the early voter list and you haven't received your ballot, it's time to take action. Head over to the Pima Votes website where you can find early voting sites and drop-off boxes. Pima Vote site also has map and listing of all the Election Day vote centers, which are open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. September 23rd. This is going to be a tough election. Every vote counts. Make sure you're part of the change that needs to happen in Southern Arizona CD7. Make sure you vote and vote for Daniel Gutierrez, paid for by Gutierrez for U.S. Congress.
And we are back. Let me get a real quick.
What you drinking there?
I've got a little Augusto Cowboy Blend.
Cowboy blend.
The good
Yeah,
stuff, man. Thank you, Al.
nice.
Appreciate it. Good stuff.
It's good stuff.
That was a good segment. Anything we can do to help honor the vets, especially the POWs and MIA, that's just, I didn't mention it to her, but I used to coach American Legion baseball back in the day, so I hung around the American Legion in Mount Vernon, Illinois a lot.
Oh, wow.
And that was a highlight of some of my early years as a baseball guy, coach / good stuff. That was good stuff. Welcome, David.
Hey, thanks for having me on
Yeah.
the other side today.
Well, I figured there was just so much stuff going on this morning
Yeah.
that you and I need to sit down and talk about it. First off, we're not there yet weather-wise, but we're getting there.
You can feel it in the mornings. It's getting a little cooler. I noticed that there's a little chiller
In the morning,
breeze.
In the morning, I got to put a little sweat on.
Oh.
No, come on.
No.
No, I do.
Get
No,
out
I
of
do.
here. A sweater?
No, I don't wear a sweater.
Oh, you get a little sweat.
A little sweatshirt.
Oh, still.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, well, you know me. I
know.
Anything under 70 is just too cold, and we're
Yeah.
kind of bumping that early in the morning, especially in the shade. So for the first, and I get up early, 5:30. I think this morning I was out back drinking some coffee about 5:30, and it was a little chilly, and I don't want to be cold.
Yeah.
I'm just prepping for this weekend. We're going to be gone. It's going to be a little chilly.
It's going to be a little chilly up there. Yeah. It's going to actually be
chilly.
quite a bit more chilly up there.
Yeah, especially at night and in the mornings. But we're getting there. Another 4 to 6 weeks. You and I spent a little time.
wait.
We spent yesterday morning together at church. And
Yeah.
then a little party on the patio for some football. Love having your kids over.
What a great day at church.
Yeah.
I missed the wife being there, but she was out having fun. There was a huge difference in attendance at the church yesterday.
Yeah. We're always full, but it was just really full.
It was really, really full.
Yeah.
And I heard something 25% the first
That's
two.
what I heard.
First two services.
Yeah,
it was
I heard,
up.
that's what I heard. I don't know where they put them because we're normally, of course, at the end of summer, we're still missing a few snowbirds. So maybe.
Well, I saw the doors open in third space after the first
Okay.
service. So I'm imagining that they had some folks go out.
We're talking
Hang
about
out
the
there.
Oro Valley Church of the Nazarene.
Yeah, it was it was good. And then watching football, I got to brag a little bit. I don't like to brag, but Chris and Sean McCluskey on his Wake Up show, they predicted the U of A to lose by 10 plus.
Yeah.
And I said they're going to win by 7.
And it
The U of A was going to
what,
win by 7, and they won
6?
by 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first off, props to the Wildcats, and I just wanted to throw that out there. So if they're listening and
Yeah.
watching, they know that I was a lot closer than they were.
And actually, the score wasn't really indicative of the game. Felt to me like they could have easily won by a lot more.
Yeah, just little mistakes.
Yeah.
But that
I mean, a win's a win, so I'm
Yeah.
not gonna. But 6 points was a lot closer than the game felt. Is that a fair observation? At least in my case,
Yeah,
that could have
absolutely.
easily been 15, 16, 18-point win as opposed to 6. But the win's a win, so we're
Yeah.
not going to be
We'll take it.
critical. Yeah. So the weather's here. We're getting there. 3 to 4 weeks will be, in my opinion, will be the Marana Oro Valley area will be the place to be. And there was just an article recently about Oro Valley right now is the number one destination point right now in the United States for this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Place to be. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, there's a lot of
all
good
the
hiking
places
trails
you
over
could
there.
be,
Mhm.
right now, this is the place to be. The weather's going to be Chamber of Commerce weather pretty much now till May.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get a little rain.
This
around
is what we
Christmas.
go through it for this time of
yeah.
year. So you can, everybody whines about the summer, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, we could still wear shorts and a t-shirt on a lot of days during
Christmas
the winter.
Day a lot of times.
Yeah,
You-
and it's like if you spend any other time in the country at places where it's really cold, where it's real cold, or there's just snow, you understand
Yeah.
how lucky we are here to hang out.
Who was it that was here the other day and he was talking about Minnesota? Who was it was here in this very, maybe it was, who'd we have on last week? I can't remember now.
Minnesota.
But they were talking about Minnesota and how cold it was And I mentioned Brainerd, and he, coldest I've ever been. 30, 40 below.
Oh, it's rough.
Sleeping in a tent.
Yeah.
I was in the Illinois National Guard, full disclosure, and I went out there in a tent because I wanted to be. I was out there in a tent because I was told to be.
Yeah.
So we got a lot going on. Of course, the pumpkin patch, the Marana, I forget the terminology, but the Marana festival that's held over.
Festival,
yes, it's held over Gladden Farms. I'm really excited. I'm going to get some tickets this weekend for the pumpkin patch. They're running their special.
Yeah.
They got a special ticket purchase.
Flash sale.
I believe it starts Friday.
Yeah, the 19th through the 22nd.
Yeah, just a couple of days there.
That's a deal you don't want to miss. I mean, if you can get to it, pay attention.
Yeah.
That gets you just way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
To experience stuff, and I think it's almost like I don't know.
It is half price. It's $15 because Live the Dream Media is going to purchase a few.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. There will probably be a few tickets available through Live the Dream
through
Media,
the shows. Yeah.
And move. So we'll follow up on that next week or the next couple of weeks. The timing of that.
Yeah.
But we'll have a few tickets for sure.
Yeah.
So, but here's what I really wanted to talk about. I thought about this a lot recently. We've had a lot of small business owners on, elected officials on, educators on, but we've never really sat down recently and talked about all the cool things happening here at Live the Dream Media.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cool stuff happening. Some we can talk about, some still in the planning stages, but I want to just... as a CEO, I want you to just be able to come on and, we'll kind of blow our own horn just a little bit and tell the audience what we're up to.
We've been doing a lot of cool new stuff, right? Like the live streaming, the broadcasting, the online radio, and that takes a lot of man hours and it takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of time.
Takes some money.
And so we've been really steadily building that up and trying to make it really, really awesome. And there's still quirks out to it. You know what I mean? Like there's always some new thing going on. And I know right now, our online radio app is experiencing some weird connectivity issue stuff that we're addressing. And so if you've been listening and going, hey, why is it taking so long to connect? We are aware of that. And we are working on a patch for the development on that. So just hang in there. But we do have another app coming in.
That's what I'm excited
January, which is going to allow you to watch the video of the streams just on the app, and you can choose to do it, on your phone and then AirPlay to your TV or wherever you're at. Also, you can also play the video, but if you need to switch your screen off to save your battery and you just wanted it in audio format, you'll be able to just play the audio. So it kind of alleviates a couple, problems with that. And then, I do know
catalog of past episodes will be much easier to find.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then there's a merch store.
Yeah.
And there's a list of all the other things we're doing.
And we're not getting rid of we're not going to get rid of the online radio. This is going to be an app for folks that want to be able to navigate to different areas. Yeah. So it's going to give them, everything they need will be there. Like even if there's somebody that's interested in advertising on a show, they'll be able to just click on a button and submit their stuff. Like they don't need this long, drawn out process. If you want to check out other shows, if you want to visit YouTube, wherever you want to go from there, it's going to make it easier for folks to go.
And you know what's really, really cool? And I got to throw this out there. David built that.
Yeah.
David built that.
I do got to admit, though, so Shay, who's running the box right now.
And Shay, yeah.
So Shay has been working on the AI part of it. So the app is going to have an AI component, so you can ask it questions and mess with it a little bit if you want to. We are going to put some funny quirks in there to play with. But our goal with that is to make it responsive to the point where, if there's certain clients we work with that have coupon codes and stuff like that we'll be able to put those in and that you can ask for them if you ask the right question and get them. Just different things we're going to play around with and have fun. But yeah, she's been working hard on the training of the AI. And, it's a process. It takes a lot of time. I don't think people realize how long it takes, but it's going to be there. So don't be surprised to see a little bot on the bottom trying to talk to you.
Hey, we're blessed. We got a couple of really young people, Shay, Tony, You'll be hearing more from Tony coming up.
Yeah.
But Shay, I'm going to shout this out. I'm going to shout you out right now. Shay's in the box right now. Is just an amazing talent. So skilled. And you know what? Even the best part of that, talented and skilled, just so chill. Mm-hmm. Just so chill. Thank you, Shay, for being chill. Not everybody around here is chill.
Yeah.
Starting with yours truly.
Yeah. And that's another thing, too. So we have an internship program. We're going to open up in October. We've already gotten a couple submissions, just people not knowing that it's opening yet. But we're going to be looking for 1 or 2 new interns to work here at this company, and there'll be some paid gigs if they're doing the right things. If not, it'll be continued training. But we're getting.
So
ready.
what you're saying is, if you're getting paid, you're doing well, and if you're not, maybe you need to step your game.
If you get offered projects, we have an intern right now that's doing really well, and probably be, part of the full range of projects. But yeah, we wanted to extend it. It's going to be open, and it's pretty cool getting internship applications just out of nowhere, and we find that that's really cool that people want to be involved with it, and we're excited to be something new here in the area. I know there's a lot of conversations about education and where can kids go to learn different things. I know you talk about a lot of the trades. There's stuff available in that capacity. You can go to your traditional media means. If I don't know if they have internships, I'm sure they do, but this brings in the opportunity for people to be multi-skilled in content creation and live streaming and everything, instead of just being a person that puts a camera up and records a journalistic piece. There's an opportunity for them to go on full production shoots for commercials, for social media, for different things, you name it, for running social media accounts. There's a lot of cool stuff for them to learn and do that really will take them out of their comfort zone in a way. So I'm excited for that.
You mentioned the internships and the different places that someone might be able to apply to get those. But at the end of the day, and I know we're in this industry, you would expect me to say this is the new frontier, digital. We're in a new place. Everything else that has come up until now is becoming obsolete overnight. I mean, overnight, all the old school ways of doing things are just evaporating. And the digital world is stamping its footprint. Now, it's still the Wild West. There's still no, which is great for us, especially if there's not like any real parameters to work in. You got to stay focused on what we built. But I would suggest, first off, you mentioned the trades, electricians and all. You know what? That's great. If that's
Needed.
your aptitude, we got to have you. We need people building buildings and wiring those buildings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if that's not your bag, man, AI, get into AI right now. Any young person that I'm around, I encourage them. AI is your future. AI is your future. Content, distribution, like what we're doing. David, we started to just put it out there. We started with an idea that we didn't even really know what that idea was, to be honest, or at least I didn't. You might have had a little clearer vision of that. But 5 years ago, this didn't exist. And now we're tapping 250,000 people or aggregate eyeballs on this network every month, and it's going up in dramatic numbers every month. We see the numbers. And by the way, these are real legit numbers. Prior to this, I don't know, and I've had a lot of we have had a lot of people that have been involved in radio that we've spoken with recently. There was no way to measure those numbers.
No.
So any number that you received from a radio station over the last 100 years, it was just made up. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
How do they know who's got a radio turned on?
No,
There's just no way to know. We know.
Educate me. We
know. We can tell.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, is we actually have had some meetings that could lead to there being live DJs on this online radio channel. But we're also really exploring opening several new online radio stations throughout the U.S. in specific target areas.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to get too far into that, but
no.
there is an investment.
Let's just say conversations are taking place.
I wanted to cover that for anybody watching or listening. There is an investment piece into that. If you're interested in being part of building that out, or there's a market you're really interested in, like essentially being the front, one of the pioneers of it. There's online, people talk about online radio stuff. And I remember somebody's like, oh, sweet, you guys are going to get like 12 listeners, you know what I mean? And which is really funny. But there is an opportunity. Everybody's moving into these new mediums, and podcasting has led the medium space over the last couple of years.
Right.
But I see, and we see that there is a real need and a real want for folks to be able to go on to online channels. I hear all the time now, all the FM stations are promoting to go listen on the app. And I'm like, well, so you're talking, basically you don't need the tower anymore, right? Which is, but because they own the tower, they're FCC regulated. But because we don't have a tower, we're not FCC regulated, which is just weird. Weird things that divide it. But
and those towers cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Easy.
We're talking in the neighborhood of $1 million a tower.
Yeah,
and it's completely controlled by FCC, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can, with the setup we have, you can essentially have your own radio station, your own app. And, we can show you how to do the programming and all that stuff, and you can buy in and go and take over a territory, right? Mm-hmm. It's just a crazy time to be alive, and the opportunities that are there. And I just want to speak that because I think people miss out a lot because they're focusing on the deterioration of what's going on right now instead of focusing on how they can build and the new opportunities.
Because think about it, David, and I've done a lot of research even before we did this, because I'm just kind of like that kind of a nerd of how radio got started. And it got started actually before, and I can't think of the gentleman's name right now. I didn't know I was going to be talking about this, but there was a farmer in Sacramento, California, or in that area, if I remember correctly, in the early 1900s. And do you know where the word broadcast come from? I actually have told you this.
Fishing.
Broadcast. Yeah. So you're fishing. Seeding.
Seeding.
Seeding the farm.
I thought it was.
It was feeding. It was seeding, broadcasting. It was throwing the seed out. That's where he came up with the term. I don't know if he came up with it, but the people around him. Then the FCC, then the government got involved and basically put him out of business with the FCC and all this stuff. And then early in the 1920s, radio started. And they didn't have anything to put on there. So that's where music became kind of like a big play in the industry. And families and people and bands would move, especially to the bigger cities that were hosting had these radio shows. And so these families or bands would move to that area and play live, from 6 to 8 in the morning. And so now they had material. So there was at least content back in the day. And then, of course, we started, but once they were able to record stuff, actually put things on tape in the 30s and into the 40s, then they didn't have to be live as much because they could start recording stuff. So you look at that's where we're at now, except now, here we are a little bit over 100 years from the advent of radio, doing the same thing. The only difference is the government hasn't figured out how to get involved yet. They will. Yeah. But we're still, when you use the word pioneer, we use that around here a lot. Pioneers. So they were creating content. That's what we do. We're still live. That's how it started. We're going to stay live. A lot of the people we're talking to want to be live. They want a live audience. And for the record, anybody that's looking to advertise with us, we now have, on average, 6,000 to 7,000 to 8,000 people live every day watching our stuff. Now, most of it's in the Marana, Oro Valley, Tucson area, so we're not reaching that broadcast of a national audience yet. Although to some degree we are, but still most of it. So if you want to get legit bang for your buck, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people on an average watch our shows every day. And the advertising dollars are real inexpensive. If you wanted to extrapolate that out, you're like paying
Yeah.
pennies per person. So now would be a good time to get into advertising with us at Live the Dream Media, because the people that are on board as we expand are our charter members. We don't call them that, but that's what they are. We're always going to take care of our charter members moving forward.
I'm glad you bring up the advertising thing, because that's one thing that's gotten lost in everything we've been doing. And I'm not saying the advertising service itself, but this company was actually built off of digital marketing and digital advertising and social media content. That's what we specialize in, and that's still what we specialize in.
backbone.
Yeah, because a lot of folks. I had a conversation with somebody recently, and they're like, "Hey, so you guys just do podcasting?" And then I'm like, "No, actually, I was always like, that actually is like our side gig."
It's kind of the sexy part of our business. But
so I always like to go out now and educate on that and share that it is, the live streaming and online radio stuff it's awesome. We're building it. It's part of it. But our main bread and butter of servicing our clients is digital marketing, digital advertising. We have access to a lot of cool stuff. We can do a lot of cool things. We're a Disney partner, so we get to put stuff on certain streams and all kinds of cool stuff that not everybody gets access to.
ESPN, Hulu comes with that Disney package.
Yeah, so and that's another thing too, is you see there's an opportunity there. There's a lot, we engage with Disney pretty often, and there's still in Paramount as well. Paramount's one, people need to really get on that one too, because I don't know if a lot of people realize, but they just picked up UFC for 6 or 7 years. And that gives local advertisers the opportunity to have their spots on huge things, right? Without having to pay that super insane cost of traditional stuff.
Oh, it was nuts.
Yeah,
I've done it.
Yeah,
I know how expensive.
Yeah,
just a tiny little piece of advertising, 10, 12, 15, 20, 25, 50,000 for this. And quite frankly, David, nothing resulted in some of those ads that I ran, which meant no one was paying attention, because I know the product and what we were offering should have got something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's actually why we started this business, you and I.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
We had a little chat out here.
Yeah.
And you go, Clint, we don't do it that way anymore. And I'm like, well, what do we do, David?
Let me show you. Yeah. And then, Paramount Plus is a big one. And I think that you don't want to miss out on that, because the cool thing is people don't realize is those ad spaces are available in the live component, but also in the post production. So when people go and watch stuff on demand, you can still go and capture those.
Evergreen, baby.
Yeah, you capture those, but you're targeting who you want to see it.
Exactly.
Who you need to see it, not
I've
broadcasting, like you said, just
throwing it out, see what sticks.
Yeah.
I've watched this man do that the geofencing and all that stuff. I won't get into all the technical terms, but if you have something you want to promote and you want to promote it in a certain area, let's say, again, local business, and you're selling
your neighborhood
into your neighborhood, well, then we don't need to necessarily put that in Phoenix. Or we certainly don't need it in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You and I see a lot of those ads, especially around political time. And somebody's hitting my feed, and they're from Rochester, Rochester, New York, or Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm like, you just want to say, hey, I don't know who's doing that for you, but they're wasting your money.
Yeah,
I can't vote for you. That should be specifically in that area, which you can, with a little bit of, David has some skill in this, but with a little bit of effort, you can target the audience that needs your information.
Yeah, and it's going to be really cool. So I believe is it next week? What's the date today?
Today's 15th.
Yeah, so next week, we're going to have somebody on the show that's not from here. His business is in 4 Oaks, North Carolina, but he's one of our clients. And you're probably going, why are you bringing somebody that's not here on this?
We have a lot of clients on the Eastern Seaboard.
So we got to talking, and I found myself and Parker talking pretty often about business and strategy and different things. And he's actually successfully started and owned and sold a few businesses. And he's pretty young. he's got to be in maybe his 20s, 30s, and he's already done that. And we've actually been heavily involved with his marketing and strategy on every business that he's had. And he's going to come on and talk about, certain things, the importance of certain things that he's done to be successful in these different industries. And we're going to talk about what tools he's used. And we want to do that on this show so we can show folks here, because I'm not knocking the region, but I am going to just be upfront and real. There's a lot of knuckle dragging here, and there's a lot of complaining and victimhood mentality, even when it comes to the business world. And you hear people go, "Man, it's could be against." It's like everything's against me. It's like, no. You're just not. You're not countering what's going on. You're not taking steps out of your comfortable.
Yes.
You're being comfortable. Somebody will be like, "Yeah, well, I just do the posts myself." And how often are you posting? Oh, like once a week. It's like, so you're expecting that to bring stuff in. So it's just, we're gonna bring this guy on to motivate this area, because I don't even know anything about Four Oaks. I haven't been there, but I told Parker, I was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna come out and visit you. Can I just ride along with you for a day and just see what you're doing?" So
you said something, David, and it's so true. And I'm gonna share an article with you that I haven't shared. For a while there, it was, well, I'm just going to make my own content. Okay, if you're good at making content, then that's great.
Which you should do no matter what.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, you're not doing enough. You're just not doing enough. You look at the legends in this industry, the Gary V's especially. He would look you right in the face and say, if you're not doing 50 posts a week, quality posts, by the way, you're not doing enough, right?
Yeah.
And then so what then happens is, okay, we went. I can't do it. I'm not even good at. And then they started hiring people that were influencers or content creators. Well, they weren't any better than the people they hired. Then there's a frustration level. Why isn't this working? Well, you still are. Now we're in with AI. Mm-hmm. There's this middle management problem because you got everybody in. You and I have been doing AI, artificial intelligence, from day one. We're 3 years into this. We're actually pretty good at it.
Yeah, and
it's not what you think it is.
No,
that's the whole thing. Is people go, "Oh, you're AI, you have no clue." See, right there, you disqualified yourself.
Yeah,
for me, right?
Yeah. Well, we tested AI employees. We hired and onboarded 5 AI employees to deal with certain tasks, and it's just not it's cool because you can have AI doing a bunch of different things, but there's platforms that'll do all that stuff, which is various channels or whatever else. And because we were like, we got to understand this hype behind these AI employees and all this, and I really hey, if you find value in it, by all means go ahead and do it. But there's softwares that'll accommodate so much more with just one area where you can kind of dictate where you want it to go. Yeah, the AI employee stuff. One of them went rogue on Instagram, so we apologize if something happened. So another bot we tested which was in a different software, went on its own on Instagram, and it was Shay found it. And it was just going and talking to folks.
Which validates what some people are talking about.
Right.
I mean, there's legitimate concerns here. I mean, for real.
Guardrails and everything else. So just, when you're freaked out by, losing a ton of jobs and stuff like that. Yeah, there's going to be some that go, but those were going to go either way.
Yeah.
I mean,
the trades we mentioned earlier aren't going anywhere.
No. But every time there's an economic downturn, or things are tough, you see a bunch of fat get trimmed, and I think people are especially the media outlets are tying in the layoffs and a lot of stuff to AI and all that, and it's a great excuse for the big corporations to say,
I heard someone say the other day about minimum wage and wages. I'm a firm believer, and you should be able to make all you can, your talent, your skill. I don't care how. I mean, great, make $100 an hour, make $500 an hour. Big corporations are never going to say that. Hey, I want you to make more money. No, they're trying to. But you know what? If you're in finance, yeah, there's going to be some cuts. If you're in healthcare, I'm not talking about the actual. I'm talking about if you're in finance, healthcare. If you're in the legal world, there's going to be some changes made because we can do a lot of this artificially.
Yeah, you can have
but hands-on work is
Yeah.
contractors, engineers, people like that. Yeah, a lot of this is never going to change anything.
Yeah, you still have to have really good sound folks behind the prompting.
So we're going to have to wrap this up. Our time's done, but I want to echo something David said, and this is what makes I had someone say the other day, Clint, you're on fire. You just look, you know why? What a great time to be alive. What a great time to be alive. If you don't think that David and I and the team over here is having fun, you need to come in here and hang out because we offered someone kind of a remote thing. I won't get into it the other day, and they're like, yeah, why would I do it at home? I want to be here.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
I want to be where the energy is. I want to be where the fun is. Show me what I need to do. That's pretty cool.
And you know what the cool thing, too, is a lot of the opportunities here before we go out, I want to mention this. A lot of the opportunities tied into the things we do offers the opportunity for someone to be their own business still, or their own boss, right? Like if you're coming in on a project, like you still have ownership on it. If you're going to come in and run a live DJ set, or you're going to have your own radio show, there's skin in the game.
Ownership in
so
that.
when everybody sees the hosts that are on the program, and I just have to say, first and foremost, I am humbly just so grateful and blown away at the hosts that are on the network and how they've grown and how they've bought in and how they continue to get better and better, and they bring on more amazing guests. And I just can't express enough. Like these folks are doing it on their own time. Yeah. They
own dime.
They own it. Yeah. They own it. They get their advertisers. Like that's next level to see a group like that in a space like this doing that every week. I don't think people understand how much work, grit, and skin in the game it takes to make that happen. Yeah. So if you haven't listened to some of the other shows,
well, one's coming up right now.
You got to do
Blair and Summer.
Yeah.
Be on in. That's why we got to clear out because they're coming on in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, Blair it out with Blair
Ron,
and Summer.
Will, Bruce and Eb.
The backseat driver girls. Those girls have been on fire.
Yeah.
Like there's some cussing every now and then, so just a heads up.
Yeah.
But I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the shows now because there's so many. I try to listen.
That's why I was really careful before I started naming names. I'm sorry, the ones that I left out, it wasn't deliberate. You know, again, what a great time to be alive, David. Thanks for thanks for coming on the show.
Don't sleep on this.
Yeah.
Don't miss out. You know,
advertisers, reach out to David. We got some great packages for you. And here's the thing about. Here's our advertisers, right? And I'm sure everybody says this, but we mean it. Our success depends on your success when it comes to advertising. Mm-hmm. We want you to be successful. You're not just a client that you're writing a check or sending a card and we're
check
swiping.
In, yeah.
You're going to get full reports. You're going to get updates. You're going to get suggestions. I hear David talking all the time to clients. Well, let's try this, and let's ship some money here. Let's deploy some money there. Right? Yeah. You're not just writing a check and getting some blank statement at the end of the month that we can't even verify. Yeah. We want you to be. You're part of our family. You're part of our network. Mm-hmm. And we argue a lot about here in a good way. What's the most important thing? Well, the hosts are pretty important. The engineering's pretty important. Yeah. But the clients, the advertisers are really. It takes all of us to make this thing work.
Right.
And so, if you're thinking about getting involved in any of this aspect, get a hold of David, get a hold of myself, contact someone over here at Live the Dream Media. We are here to help you. So get ahead of the curve.
Let's do it. Hey, be kind to each other.
Oh man!
And I gotta echo Pastor Chris from the Oro Valley Church of Nazarene. Darkness will not prevail.
Yeah. Be a light in that darkness, by
Yeah.
the way. Be a light. Hey, like I say at the end, you kind of took my line there, bud. Hey, remember, just be nice to each other. It's not that difficult if you try.